But first, our top story, failure to launch the pilot program created through Obamacare to reduce costs by moving away from the traditional fee-for-services model. Well, it's off to a rocky start. Several hospitals and healthcare systems are dropping out of the program. And while the quality of care improved in the program, only little more than half of those in the program managed to lower their costs, one of the major goals of the entire program. With me now, Avik Roy, Senior Fellow for the Manhattan Institute. Avik, welcome back to the show. What do you make of this?
Well, you know, it's not a big result. It's a mixed result. You know, there were some hospitals that, quote unquote, saved money, some hospitals that cost more money. At the end of the day, though, I think the long-term result is going to be higher costs. Why? What are ACOs? They're organizations that combine and merge hospitals, clinics, other hospitals, other providers.
Accountable care organizations, what you're mentioning.
Yeah, that's the buzzword.
I don't know if this is a win-win for the Obama administration or not. I mean, take a look at this. The goal was to save some $940 million, right, through 2015. Here's what we found. They lost 0.3%. I mean, their prices actually went up. Costs went up. They rose overall. Now, a couple of the institutions in this group did better, saw better results. But at the end of the day, for some reason, you would think that treating people early for causes and conditions that could spiral into really expensive conditions later would be a good thing, but it doesn't seem to work right away.
In theory, that's what you'd expect, but here's what happens. These providers, when they enlarge and consolidate, have more market power. What does more market power allow them to do? Raise prices. So Partners was highlighted in the Wall Street Journal article today. That's the Massachusetts General Hospital and Brigham and Women's. They've jacked up prices massively over the last 10 years since their merger. So now they could say, well, they've saved 0.5%, you know, relative to what they were going to do. No, they've raised prices and raised prices and raised prices. So, you know, that it's kind of the fox guarding the hen house of a problem. And, you know, the CMS press release, it's like, well, everything's great. We don't know what the real data is. They haven't released the full data set, so we don't know.
Well, and you were telling me in the green room, you said, you know, look, Jerry, these press releases that come out from them typically are much more positive than the underlying data.
That's
you
right.
Still believe that?
I do, absolutely.
Okay, well, I look at this data and I think, what does this bode for Obamacare once every bit of it is in place? You know, we've already seen premiums rise. We've already seen our out-of-pocket costs increase. What are we looking at?
Well, you know, the ACOs, this whole thing that we're talking about today, that's been trumpeted by a lot of the pro-Obamacare wonks out there saying, right, this is the cost control. This is the thing that's going to bring costs down. So you compare that 0.8% versus 0.3% growth. You compare that to what we're seeing in the insurance market, where insurance premiums for people are doubling in many cases if they're shopping for insurance on their own. So that's, on the one hand, you're seeing increases of 100%. On the other hand, you're seeing savings of 0.5%.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, there was another report today that I want you to comment on. Big debate over whether Obamacare and the money they give people, you know, who earn very little, in fact, to get health care will cause people to drop out of the jobs market. And according to one analysis, some 900,000 people might leave the workforce or simply reduce their hours. Is this a threat, do you believe?
It's a problem always when you do more to subsidize low-income people, that some people are going to look at it and say, you know what, if my hours are going to get cut or my wages are going to be cut, I can go on unemployment. I can get the earned income tax credit. I can get health insurance benefits, and that's a better deal for me. We see this in Europe all the time. But the thing we have to remember is we already waste a lot of money subsidizing health care for the wealthy. So, you know, should we try to do more for people who are low income? Probably. But we do too much already to subsidize health insurance.
And, of course, there are already many programs that do that. So the old pilot program, a big downer. Avik, thanks for coming on. It's always great to have you on set. Thank you.
My pleasure.